Western Conference Podcast. Your boy Big Body Cisco here, brought to you by Dos Caras Tequila. And with, if you haven't seen by now, the TONGI homecoming down there, the American Idol top 3 finalists. And it's only right that we talk American Idol talk today with one of the best. We got the lovely season 3 top 3 finalists, by the way, Miss Jasmine Trias in the building. How are you doing?
Aloha.
See, and I always that's the same flower from season 3 because that's just doing well.
It is. It's still alive.
And also we got my brother John Orlando from the Action Junkies podcast in the room because he is an American Idol connoisseur as well.
Which I get so much hate for in the DMs. You don't even know. Like, I lost my man card.
See,
it's terrible.
If you guys don't already, follow John Orlando on Instagram because you could go to his story and he's real vocal about everything that's going on American Idol.
I am.
Yeah.
And I get hate for that too sometimes because, you know, I'm basically like Simon in training when I'm posting. So I say what's going on and what they're doing wrong and all that stuff. I don't tag. If I say something nice, I tag them. If I say something not nice, I don't tag them. I mean, I'm not trying to upset the contestants, but I just give my
John's talking shit. That's what he's doing. He's trying to cover it up.
Yeah.
But we got the lovely Miss Jasmine Trias. How we doing?
I am good. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you know what? It's been a long time. Because you guys don't know, me and Jasmine ran into each other at the Los Angeles Clippers game.
That's right.
In LA for Polynesian Heritage Night. And it was just dope, you know, meeting you there. And I was like, hold up. That's Jasmine from American Idol that's in the building right now. But how you been?
I've been doing great.
Yeah.
Things have been busy. You know, when you asked me to do this podcast, I normally don't do long form interviews, but, you know, since we connected so well at the LA arena gig, I was like, why not?
Yeah.
How come you normally don't? I'm curious.
I don't know. It just normally isn't the right fit, or I'm not ready to talk about certain things.
Yeah.
Got it.
I feel like now seems like the right time. And,
Ain't no time but the right time, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And I think it's a good connection too, because all like John, it depends on who you talk to as well.
Right.
And I think, you know, us seeing each other at the Holo Holo Festival as well in Las Vegas with our homegirl Camille Velasco. That was also on American Idol season 3. But tell us how. Let's take it back.
Okay.
And the reason why it brings it up now, because you have TONGI who's doing the homecoming top 3 finalists, and it just kind of took me back to when you were a top 3 finalist.
Yep.
And to kind of see
I remember that too.
Do the whole homecoming in Hawaii. His was at Kahuku. What was yours at?
It was in Waikiki.
See, come on. That's a whole different element right there. You got Kahuku and Laie, and then you got Waikiki.
Right.
A little bit safer in Waikiki. But tell us how that whole thing, especially now, came back around for you.
Oh my gosh. As you said, you know, watching on American Idol just brought back so much memories from my time on the show and my homecoming, of course. But I mean, I don't know how far back do you want to go?
Well, I want to go back because me and John were talking about how I haven't watched the show in a long time.
Okay.
Probably since you were on.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean.
I'm addicted.
See, and I know John said that's why he's my American Idol consultant
You've
right now.
watched it through me over the years.
And then I said, and always when there's a person, an artist on there,
Sure.
now it's kind of, okay, let me go check out and that's just how our demographic is.
Right.
Let's see how our Hawaiian artists are doing. Let's see our Samoan, Tongan, whoever's there. And then this kid comes up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait. Then I heard him sing the James Blunt song.
Oh my gosh.
And that just went viral. And it's crazy because I said, okay, his kid got something.
Yeah.
And I kind of seen how his whole thing, and come full circle. And I was like, he actually can do some of these things. Like, what was your first impression, John, when you seen Ian?
I loved him. I thought, obviously the backstory, you instantly become a fan, rooting for him because of his dad and stuff.
Right.
And then, he's got the chops and he's got the charisma and he's got the personality, that likability. It's just that that thing you can't teach.
Yeah.
You're just born with it or you're not. And he's definitely born with it.
And he checked all the boxes off.
Yeah.
And I think that goes back to when Jasmine was on there. And that reminded me exactly to the time when you were on there.
Right.
Because we were pulling for you. I was like, hold on, Jasmine could do this thing. Then we had Camille there. But that whole experience, take us through that experience, especially for you.
Yeah. Well, I was 16 when I auditioned for the show.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was a big fan of season 1 and season 2, watched it. Loved singing growing up in a Filipino household. In Hawaii, it's a big part of the culture, you know. So as a big fan of the show and with so much music around me, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to audition for the show. And so season 3, I believe that was the only season that they actually held auditions in Hawaii.
Well, so that was the first time.
That was the first time they held auditions in Hawaii.
Well, that was tripping because there's so much untapped talent out there.
Yeah, because normally you would have had to like fly to LA or to the other
go to one of the other cities. Yeah.
But I think, that was the first year they auditioned in Hawaii. And obviously, when anything like that comes to Hawaii, it's like big news.
Yeah, sure.
For the whole island. So, like, the whole island audition. People who could sing and people who couldn't sing.
Everybody and their mama came to the island to audition.
Yeah.
That's why it was such a big thing to have you kind of come through that group.
Right.
Or come through that state when they came. It was like, because if you guys don't know, Hawaii got some talent out there. And when Jasmine did her thing, it was like angelic. Like everyone was like, man, she had the voice of an angel, and just the process that you went through. Like, who were some of your influences when you were in Hawaii at 16, growing up to that point?
At 16, a huge Whitney fan.
Yeah.
Mariah, Christina
big
Aguilera,
dogs.
yes, Aretha Franklin. I would just listen to their songs over and over, try to do all the runs, try to practice all of that. So, they were my big influences. And so, when I auditioned for Idol, I actually auditioned I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston.
See?
Wow.
Come on, John.
Brave.
I was about to come on, John. Because in the world where we live in, you don't touch Whitney.
Yeah. I mean, if you followed me on Instagram, you'd know over the last 3 years of me doing my Idol commentary, I'm always like, don't cover Whitney. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Somebody at the house had to take, because look, just to let you know, she comes from a Filipino household as well, so they karaoke'd out. So this had to come to somebody say, okay, Jasmine, if you're going to do this Whitney, you better do it some justice, and you did.
I suppose I did.
Yeah.
Simon liked it.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah.
I mean, I was nervous as heck.
Yeah.
But,
were you?
Oh, my God, yeah. I mean, I was 16. I don't even know how I mustered up the courage to even do something like this. But, my dad and I camped out for like over 24 hours.
Yeah.
Because it was at the Aloha Stadium. And obviously it was a big deal.
Yeah.
So everyone wanted to get in line like first thing. So camped out for over 24 hours. And
wow, 24 hours.
Yeah.
Wow. Shout out Pops, because for him to say, hey, we're going to do this.
Yeah, let's do this.
We're going to be here for 24 hours.
Right.
Plus, you got all the cousins that are trying to get the security that's Samoan already to get them to the front of the line. So it's just you got a lot of stuff stacked against you.
Yeah, exactly. So and actually before Idol, there were like other like local competitions that I would enter in school, and I was, a part of the choir as well. So just musically,
So you had the musical background.
I did. And then when obviously Idol announced that they were coming to Hawaii, I was like, can I audition? Can we do this?
Yeah.
And so my dad was like, okay, I'll go with you. Let's go like first thing. He's such a punctual guy.
Yeah.
He wants
support
to, like,
systems, everything.
Right, exactly. So it was a wild ride. So I was nervous as heck. Like I was shaking. When
you walk in and you got Simon, at this point it's Simon Cowell, Randy Jackson.
Randy, and Paula, man.
Good old Paula.
Woo!
Straight up now, tell me. But you have to go through a first set of judges first.
There's actually two sets before you even get to Simon, Paula, and Randy.
Okay.
So the first audition phase was at Aloha Stadium, and that's kind of like the cattle call.
Yeah.
And they have like tents, rows of tents, and just regular show producers.
Yeah.
And then you line up in front of all these tents, and then you just get a yes or no. You sing like for 10 or 15 seconds, and you get a yes or no into the.
Oh, so it was quick.
It was quick. It's a cattle call. It's quick. And then after you either make it or you don't, I did, and then you get called back to, I think we did the second set in front of the executive producers, which were held, I believe, at the Sheraton Waikiki.
Yeah.
So that's another round, and then audition for the executive producers. I think I did Aretha Franklin.
I was about to say, what was the song?
You are just like fearless.
Aretha and Whitney. Jasmine ain't playing. Jasmine ain't playing.
Yeah.
No one was like, oh, maybe do someone else, baby. No, that was Aretha and Whitney. You gonna do some things.
Well, I did Whitney first, but they wanted to hear something more up tempo, so I said.
So you have to have a few.
Yeah.
Okay. Ready to go.
I guess. Yeah. I wasn't actually ready for that, but because I just loved all these songs.
Yeah.
I was like, I had some in my back pocket.
Yeah.
So I did Respect by Aretha.
Come on.
And then they put me through. So that was another round done. And then, the next day was the audition with Simon, Paula, and Randy.
Yeah. That whole process right there, while you're waiting for this and while you're waiting your turn, do you start to see and hear other people like, yeah, they definitely ain't moving forward? Like,
oh yeah, you definitely hear a little bit of that.
I'm pretty sure you got a few aunties
it's probably
over
that
there.
And some, oh my God,
yeah.
this one's good.
Oh yeah.
Especially in Hawaii.
Oh yeah.
Especially in Hawaii.
Everyone talks.
Yes.
know, like everyone talks with all that. So, yeah, made it to the next round, and I was so nervous, and I couldn't figure out what to wear.
You're 16.
I was 16. You know,
and they're not helping you at that point, right?
No, you kind of had
not
to figure
till Hollywood.
this out.
Then,
yeah,
right.
Exactly. So, I had to go shopping to figure out what to wear. I didn't know anything about makeup.
Yeah,
right.
Or
You're
like
16.
I was 16. Like
you went straight to Ala Moana.
Exactly. My mom took me shopping to Ala.
Went to the Sephora at Ala Moana. But you got to do an audition.
Oh,
but
my
I mean, just to have that. I mean, the family support is real. Like you're doing this on your own. You're 16 years old.
Yeah.
You're singing these huge songs, and now you're actually making it to see Paula, Randy, and Simon.
Yeah.
You do your thing.
Yeah.
You get that ticket to go to the next level.
Hollywood.
And now what are we doing then?
Gosh, and then Hollywood Week was actually pretty brutal.
Yeah.
It's like boot camp, basically, of the whole audition process. Long nights, you're not really sleeping. They put you in groups, and then you have to learn group numbers, and you have to work with other singers, and that's a whole, it adds a whole nother layer of craziness.
Because you're like, keep up with me, ladies, keep up.
Yeah,
keep up.
no, not at all. Because I'm actually naturally really shy.
Yeah.
Very, very shy. And so, you know, it was like, you know, high school all over again. Like, who's the cool
cliquey,
clique?
right?
Who's like, you know, trying to navigate your way through all of that. So, oh my gosh, that was an emotional roller coaster as well. And I just wanted to just sing. Yeah. That's it. I don't want to have to worry about all the other stuff.
And before Idol was singing something that you already vested in, that you was like, you know, this is what I kind of want to do. 16, there's a lot of stuff going on at that time.
Absolutely. Yeah. Still in high school. And, you know, again, growing up with a Filipino family, everyone wants you to be a nurse or a doctor or somewhere in the medical field. So I always had it in the back of my mind, like, gosh, you know, this is something I'm so passionate about. So I kind of kept it to myself a little bit. I would just get involved in more like musical things, choir, any contest I would see pop up, I would like enter into that.
Nice.
And obviously, like, you know, with family get-togethers, it'd be like karaoke parties, or you sing at a birthday party.
For Auntie and them.
Exactly. So yeah, you know, music has always been such a big part of my growing up. So it just sort of made sense, I guess. Yeah. And American Idol was a huge opportunity. So yeah, Hollywood Week. I remember I was doing a group number with Diana DeGarmo was in that group, and two other people, and we were trying to find a cohesive like blend with the group, and like
harmonies and all that.
Harmonies and all that. And I remember we stayed up till like 5 or 6 in the morning.
Wow.
Because they only gave this assignment to us like, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night. So we were trying to obviously perfect it through the night and work through the night. But obviously with not a lot of sleep, when we had to wake up for an early call time at like 9 o'clock or something to get ready to perform, I was obviously really nervous, and like
the nerves start kicking in.
All the nerves start kicking in, and lack of sleep, I forgot the lyrics. I did not.
And they hate that,
froze.
especially those 3 judges.
Oh my God.
That's a big deal to them. I remember Simon's like, if you don't know the words, like
then
you shouldn't be here.
Yeah, exactly. So the stakes are pretty high at that point. And so I was like, oh my God, I was just kicking myself. I just kind of froze, and I was like, that's it. I'm done. Like, there's just no way. I was just...
And it's crazy because you were in an age where there wasn't social media.
No.
So like if you forgot something now, that would be a meme at this point. You know what I mean?
Right. So you never live it down.
Social media kind of controls the narrative at that point. It was like, oh, you're like the girl who forgot the lyrics because they play it repetitively on social media. Where I see that it was so much harder for you guys not having that social media. I mean, it had a give and take, right?
I guess, there's good and bad about both. I guess I don't have a meme to haunt me to this day.
Right.
You know? But yeah, it's still, it's crazy just to look at the comparison now with social media. I think the show is completely different now. Whereas when I was on season 3, it was like a television event. Everyone kind of gathered around the TV to actually watch it. Nowadays, people just watch it on social media.
Clips. Watch the clips,
and that's it.
I watch it on John's story. I don't even watch the episodes.
Exactly.
I go hard.
Yeah.
I have a question. When you mentioned how the judges wanted, or the producers wanted you to have an up-tempo song also. So a lot of things I'm always complaining about is I always say, like especially early in the whole season, don't do up-tempo songs. They're gonna fall flat. It's too cruise shippy. It's too. You need to bring power ballads.
Yeah. Right.
But do they force you guys into like song choice? Is it totally up to you, or do they say like, oh, we already have 3 ballads, you need to do something up tempo? Like, does that happen? So even my complaint is like it's out of their hands kind of thing, and I don't realize it.
Right. So are you talking about like the top 12 time?
Yeah.
Okay. So
exactly.
Top 12. It's actually quite a process. So during my season, there was a genre for every week, and every week they would give us a list of songs to choose from that genre.
Okay.
Right.
So you were limited to the songs that they gave you because of licensing and
the
like
same person can't do the same song, right? Or 2 people can't do the same song.
Exactly. So you're in a room with the executive producer and the musical director to try and figure out what you want to do and what they want you to do, sort
right.
of. So
this don't sound as fun as I thought it was going to be.
And that's where they
sound like a whole regimen.
That's where they can kind of control who's going to win, right? Because they know like the power ballad's going to outperform this other song.
Yes.
Let's give this power ballad to this one. Let's give
because Jasmine's like, I don't want this Tracy Chapman song. I don't like this person.
right.
They kind of control the narrative at that point.
That's
it's like it's not fixed, but they can kind of
right. They can influence a little bit for sure. Absolutely.
Was there songs that you were like, or there were songs like, I'm 16. I don't even know who these people are.
Right.
Yes, there were songs that I wanted to do, and then I couldn't do them.
Yeah.
But at 16, I couldn't. I didn't really
yourself.
Feel like I could really speak up for myself and like, fight for myself and stand my ground. My dad was with me, but he doesn't know anything about showbiz either, and he's just there to support me, and he's just trusting the guidance of these executive producers. And
at that point, you're trusting your voice because your voice. Let's call it what it is. Your voice was one of the strongest of that crew too, because I was looking at it as well. It's like
totally.
It didn't matter what they give you. You was singing it and sounding like, okay, well, she's doing her thing.
Yeah, I remember you that season. I remember. I've been addicted. I've been watching the show literally like it's like my. I know. I get so much.
And that's why, John. I was like, you got to come on this episode because I have Miss Jasmine.
Yeah.
John was like,
I was like, I'm in.
Right.
Because we also had Camille. Camille was on there as well.
Nice.
And she was the raspy, voice for American Idol. And I was like, just to kind of have you and then, Paula, who didn't make, but Paula kind of like turned that into her own way of doing it.
Right.
But just to have you guys being the Hawaiian girls out there. Just to have you represent a whole, because like I said, it's not easy, even for EM right now, especially in a Hawaiian demographic, Polynesian demographic, the stress level is high.
Oh,
and
because you really feel you are representing the people. Yeah. It's right. Yeah. It's not like if you're just from LA.
No, and especially for Jasmine, you have the Filipino and the Hawaiian culture on your back.
It was huge.
Yeah.
It was. I don't think I realized the pressure until after.
Yeah.
I was so young on the show, and I was just taking everything day by day. I had no idea I was going to make the next round. I was just happy to be there. I was just like, this is crazy. I cannot believe I'm actually on the show and actually
all your friends freaking out.
Oh my God, my whole family, friends, I'm freaking out. It still feels like a dream and still so surreal. And it's not until recently that I actually kind of connected everything and realized it. Because life
looking
moves
back
on
now.
And, you just keep looking forward and you don't really go back and think back on
Is it 20 years ago? Yeah. Should I not say that? Okay.
No, you can.
Wow.
And it's crazy too because even when it was season 3, you were known as you had the plumeria in your ear.
Yeah.
And she had everyone wearing the plumeria. He had the ugly girls, the big girls. I was like, all right, Jasmine, you kind of make this for everybody. But that was her signature thing.
Yeah.
She had the, and in Hawaii, it's like certain sides, you either taken or you're not, because that's what we were looking for. Okay, she's single. But that was like I said, there's no social media at that time.
Right.
You're kind of like, you have your voice, you have the flower. Now this is your brand at this point.
Right. And I didn't even know.
Yes.
Right.
I didn't know that was my thing. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I was just being me, and I just wore the flower, and why not?
Oh, trust me, I dated a girl around that time. She tried to put that flower. I said, take that goddamn flower. You do not look like Jasmine, first of all.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
But, so now we're going from top 12. Now now you go to top 3.
Yeah.
Now they're saying, okay, Jasmine, we're gonna go back home to Waikiki. How was that moment for you to say, okay, I made the top 3.
Right.
Now you have more pressure added on to already what you had.
Yeah. Because now it's in reach.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're right there. There's only 3 of you.
Right.
Exactly.
So and it's kind of dope to see artists now that were in that season also still stay in music, still keep in contact. But take us to the top 3.
So top 3, yeah. I think there was a lot of drama on my season. A lot of people were kind of upset that I made it to the top 3.
Come on, haters gonna hate. Haters gonna hate.
Yeah. Because Jennifer Hudson was on my season.
J Hud.
Yeah, J
Come on, John.
That's crazy, man.
Showgirls.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Another strong Fantasia.
Oh, right.
Come on.
Another strong
Fantasia
vocalist.
on there.
LaToya London. I remember when the top 3, when those 3 girls were in the bottom, and I was safe. It was like pandemonium. Like,
they wanted to get at you, Jasmine. Trust me.
Was like, "What is going on with this show? It's a joke." I was like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "It's okay. I can go home. I can go home. It's okay. I don't mind."
But just thinking about that, it's crazy because you do. I mean, the haters are going to hate, but Fantasia, J Hud, like, and you were saying Jasmine's safe.
Like, yeah, you know what I mean? I'm like,
now you're the bad guy.
Yeah, I'm the bad guy. So there was a lot of drama. So top 3.
Yeah.
Got to go home. And I did not expect what was there at the airport. I walked out off the plane at the airport, and there was just people everywhere and cameras just like flooding
all in your face,
my face, and I was like, oh my god. I was not, and 16, I just did not know how to handle all of this. And my dad was with me, and he's also like stunned to see all
the whole
this
family
happening.
In general at that point, right?
Yeah. But it was amazing to see just all the love and support from Hawaii to actually experience it, because I heard about it through the season, and that was what was keeping me going. You know, my dad and my family were just telling me, Hawaii is just behind you. They're having voting parties. Everyone's calling.
Yes.
Because I think Simon made a comment saying, I hope Hawaii has more than 5 phones per household to vote you through.
Oh, trust me, we wanted to jump Simon at that point. There was a whole lot of politics ready to go to Simon's house at that point. And so we were like, okay, Simon about to get it when he comes to Hawaii.
Exactly. So he definitely challenged Hawaii, and everyone showed up. But I remember it was just such a busy schedule. It was just one thing after another. Landed in Hawaii, and then I think I went to the Capitol building, and the
meeting
governor.
Politician.
The governor announced it was Jasmine Trias Day. I was like, I didn't even know you could have.
May 13th. If I'm wrong, which
May 13th.
Come on.
Wow.
May 13th is Jasmine Trias Day in Hawaii. If you guys do not know
Look at you.
It's a celebration, isn't it?
So that was pretty crazy. I could not believe that. And then
that's cool.
Went to my high school, and Marino High School.
Come on.
And they showed up as well. And I got really emotional there because it was like my friends. And I got to see them. And they were just screaming. And I just felt so much love. And it's coming back to me now. It's like, oh my gosh, it was so emotional. And then we ended the evening.
But don't end yet.
Oh, sorry.
Go back to Marino High School.
Okay, Marino High School.
How dope was it for all the mean girls?
I love it.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Come on, let's call it what it is.
Yep.
I'm talking about the group of girls that was always hating on Jasmine.
How you
Girl,
like
you can't
me now.
sing. Sister, you can't sing.
Oh, yeah.
But to sit there, and they was probably sitting like, okay, how did that feel? Come on.
Oh, it felt amazing. I mean, yeah.
Oh, yeah. See, I had to know, because especially in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Especially in Hawaii, it's like, look, I love my Hawaiian people, I love my Polynesian people, but the mean girls, they could be mean.
The titas.
Yes, all the sisters out there ready to tell. But that had to be a moment for you to go back to the high school and just say, hey, look, I done made it. Because you're still going to get haters at that point as well, too.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And, high school is obviously such a tricky thing to navigate. And, I wasn't part of the popular crowd, the cool crowd at all. I was very kind of quiet to myself. I was kind of nerdy. I had glasses, I had braces. I was not popular.
See, not just the mean girls then. You had the dudes that was talking shit too.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I was in Glee Club, I was like the So.
But just like I was saying, it's a dope moment for you.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to play the clip as well. You guys can see the whole homecoming. That's a good thing about social media.
Right.
That we can take you guys back to that homecoming, but just to see the reception.
Oh my God.
And it's crazy. That's 20 years ago, and you fast forward to EM and Kahuku in Laie.
Same.
And it's like, wow.
Yeah.
But at that time, I don't think they had the folks like Common Kings and all them came out. You didn't really have that kind of support of bands because it wasn't even really big back then as well.
No, it wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't. And, it was 2004. And at that time, I don't think there wasn't a lot of representation for the Hawaii community or the Asian or Filipino community on such a mainstream commercial stage. And I don't think that even hit me either until later. And so it wasn't until people were like claiming me, Hawaii was claiming me, the Filipinos were claiming me, the Asians were claiming me,
that's my
because
cousin.
they're like, oh my God, you're like, I see you on stage, like you look like me, like that's amazing. And I didn't really take all of that in until like afterwards, and I that's when I realized it was actually bigger than me. Like all I wanted to do was sing. That's it. And then I didn't realize that I was carrying like the Hawaii flag, the Filipino flag, just the Asians generally. Like
you were the Bruno Mars before Bruno Mars,
right?
Yeah,
because now you know Hawaii, Filipino. You were like representing on that type of stage and that type of higher echelon at that point.
Yeah. And
it's dope to see though.
It's amazing to see, and I fully appreciate all of that now, where I am now, 20 years on, like from a different perspective. And it's definitely crazy to look back at all of this and just, oh my gosh.
But like, it's a success story, right, John?
Yeah.
You look at it where it was 20 years ago, where it was not only a stepping stone for your career, because we're talking about platinum artists right here. We're not just talking about an American Idol artist. We're talking about a platinum artist that the representation of the Philippines, of being a Hawaiian, kind of opened up the doors where you were kind of say, okay, this is something I could do for a living. Because after top 3, who ended up winning that season, by the way?
Fantasia.
See, I was waiting for John. I wanted John to answer.
Oh, sorry.
Well, because it was kind of shocking. I mean, like, I think Jennifer Hudson should have won, but personally, but
oh my God,
And then there was the whole like, it's almost better to come second than first for some weird reason. I don't understand why that is, but.
Well, I think at that time it was because people thought that American Idol kind of locked you into a contract. And like you couldn't really do what you wanted to do as an artist. So I think.
Wait, that's not what it is. That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That is how it is, though, right?
Yeah, I think at that time, at early stages of American Idol, the winner was like locked into, I don't know, like X amount of years.
Yeah, I think it's still that way, though.
Yeah, I think even Kelly Clarkson had some issues where she had to get out of her contract. I don't know if that's to do with Idol, but yeah.
Because I mean, the American Idol is a gift and a curse at this point, right?
Right.
Where you can use it, but it's like you have to be kind of like almost a part of American Idol your whole life, and your whole career, because you were top 3.
And I get it. I mean, it's a big stage you're on. I mean, there's so many people, watching you every week. I mean, it's hard to argue that it did make you, even if you're top 10, top 12, even top anything. The exposure it definitely changes everything, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Completely changed my life. Had no idea.
Fantasia wins.
Yeah.
Now it's like, now what's next for Jasmine? Because now, like I say with Tongi as well, he's already won.
Yeah.
And I felt like at that point you already won.
Yeah.
Especially when
But do you feel it at the time that you already won? Even like
absolutely.
Like it's okay. I'm on my way.
Yeah. I mean, I was just happy to make every week. I felt like I already won every week because I as a 16-year-old and looking at all the other contestants on the show, I was like, they're way better than me. Like Jennifer Hudson.
At that age, it's easy to do, to be better. Like, the difference of 16 to 18 or 16 to 20.
That's true.
As a singer is night and day. I mean, just life experience, you don't have it. And there's so much. You don't know how to sing with pain yet because you haven't even really had any pain in most cases.
And you over there singing Whitney. Jasmine, stop. You got to go through some pain.
No, singing Whitney, but the backup is Aretha. Oh, you need another song? I got Aretha. Get out of here.
But that's why American Idol is definitely a stepping stone to where you can go. Yes. Now we're looking at 17 years old. Now American Idol is done. Yeah. Now what's the plan for Jasmine Trias?
Well, so after Idol, I went to the Philippines. That's when I had what they call the Philippines homecoming.
Yeah.
And that was pandemonium. Ooh. It was like crazier than the Hawaii homecoming. And I had no idea this was coming. I remember, so right after Idol, we went on a tour.
Yeah, that's right.
So on tour, during the tour, I actually was, I was prepping for my Philippines trip. Yeah. So I had a bunch of endorsements lined up with McDonald's, Smart Communications.
How did you get all those?
It was through, so with American Idol, I was with CAA agency.
Oh,
at the
wow.
time.
Okay. The big boys.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and the Philippines came knocking. And so they kind of scheduled that throughout the tour. So after the tour, I could go and do those things.
That is actually a good thing. So like going back to so American Idol kind of owns you, right? Mm-hmm. But that's actually a good thing because you're not really faced with now what? Like I came top 10, top 12, whatever. Right. Then now what do I do? You're actually, I didn't realize that you're not lost. You're not a singer without a ship at that point. They're vested in you making money because they're going to take a piece. So
now you're with the agency.
Right.
Now you're getting the moves.
Right.
So that's actually a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. So that I guess that was a good thing, but they did take a lot of money.
Yeah. Because that's what people don't realize because they're taking it. CAA's taking it. Idol's taking it. Your manager, if you had one's taking it. The government's taking it.
You thought they was taking it. Wait till she goes to the Philippines and find all these uncles and aunties she didn't know that she had.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you made $100,000. You made $100,000 and you owed $6,000.
You're absolutely right.
But
you look in hindsight. You're still 16, 17.
Yeah.
Moves are being made.
Yeah.
You're being forced to grow up before our eyes. I mean, whether you liked it or not.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
And now it's like you go home. You already did the Hawaii thing. Now you go to the Philippines. And like nothing to trust me. I know. When you have those uncles and aunties that you didn't know about.
Yeah.
Okay, hey, Jasmine.
Phone's ringing.
The phone's ringing off the hook.
Yeah.
Yep.
The pressure's at 17. The pressure's now 18 comes. Like, where are you kind of say, okay, I get the American Idol thing, but this is kind of where I want to take a stand. And I'm about to be 18. What am I doing at that point?
Right. Well, so after all of that, Philippines, I recorded an album.
In the Philippines?
No. So I recorded an album here in the U.S. with an independent label. And then the Philippines actually took over. Universal Records actually signed me in Asia, and then I repackaged the album and then re-released it. So the album that I recorded here, it was interesting. I like the style of it, but again,
that's what I was going to ask you. Was it you? Was it your material? Was it what?
It wasn't my original material. They had producers come in to work with me, but
you had some like producers like Diddy and all, and was over messing with you.
Yeah. So the label wanted
crazy.
Right.
So the label had a vision, I guess, for what they saw me as an artist.
Right.
And at that time, I just sort of went with it because I didn't know better, and so I'm like, great, okay, cool. So did the album, and it's something I'm proud of. It's cool. I definitely got to discover like another side of music that I didn't really
grasp at the time. Of course, absolutely.
Exactly. It was kind of like super R&B.
Yes,
like super R&B.
They were trying to steer you to that R&B side.
Exactly. And I like R&B and soul, but it just was like maybe too much R&B for me at the time. Looking back at it now, then Universal wanted to be a part of it, so they signed me up. And then that's when I toured the Philippines more with that album. But to be honest, the album in the Philippines did way better than it did here.
Because I was about to say, they re-released it in the Philippines, so it was kind of a little more popularity than it had in the States. Yeah.
So it went platinum in the Philippines, but it did okay here. Yeah. But
because at that point, are they pushing you like how they're pushing a Fantasia at that point? Are they pushing you how they're pushing a J Hud at that point?
Right.
Like everyone doesn't get the same. They're not getting the same top billing as the winner.
Right.
Of course.
Exactly.
So you kind of just had to roll with the punches. God damn.
Yeah, I roll with the punches, and at that time, I was just kind of navigating my way. Trying to figure this all out on my own too. And so when I got signed with the label, I just kind of trusted them to look out for my best interest. And
I like how she says trusted him and shook her head like, I thought I trusted him.
And being from someone from Hawaii, you wear your heart on your sleeve, and you're just trusting of people.
Huge heart already.
And in showbiz, I had to learn the hard way that you can't do that. You really have to kind of have some thick skin and really stand your ground and really hold your value and really stick up for yourself.
You have to be the captain of your ship, but they make it hard.
Oh, they make it so hard. Oh,
they got sharks putting holes on the bottom.
Sure.
They drilling. That's one thing in the back.
Yeah, that's one thing I was going to ask you. Is like I did stand up comedy for 10 years, and I grew up in showbiz, obviously, with my dad, and
Shout out to Legend 20 Orlando. John just trying to be honest.
When I would be, even before I started doing stand-up, if I just went on the road with my dad for like 10 days, when we got home, I would actually be a little depressed, like because that energy, that 8 o'clock showtime energy that's not there anymore.
Absolutely.
You probably, you're out there. Did you have any of that? Because you were not just like an artist on the come up. You were at the highest stage on the biggest show,
top of the top,
with the biggest audience. Like no bigger monster in the room than American Idol, especially back then.
Yes.
Did you have any depression like a year later, 2 years later, like? Because
especially
nothing tops that. Like nothing.
The post-traumatic stage.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
How did you deal with that?
I just kept busy. I think it didn't really hit me until recently.
Really?
Pandemic.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. I think like just with Idol, like Philippines, everything, it was just go,
Constantly,
go. And you just didn't have time to settle and actually think about what you've been doing. It's just
I can see that.
And they are pushing you to go.
Yeah, exactly. And so it wasn't until things actually really slowed down.
And stopped completely.
Like the whole world stopped. And then, it actually just wasn't until the pandemic that I actually like looked back.
Yeah.
Actually talked about
when you're living it, you don't. It's funny you say that. My dad, I have a sister who's 20 years younger than me.
Oh, right.
So she grew up in the Jonas Brothers, Demi Lovato, Britney Spears,
that whole
Backstreet Boys era.
Yeah.
And so when my dad would take her to a lot of these concerts, the parents of those kids would all find out, Tony Orlando's out there, and they'd end up backstage because they'd be like, tell security,
the life,
row D, seat 5, Tony Orlando, bring him to me,
That's awesome.
And so she would get to meet, Taylor Swift and and Demi Lovato became very friendly, and her mom with my dad and my sister. And so, like Demi calls my dad like Uncle Tony.
Yeah.
This is way back, and still. But and my dad's advice to her was like, don't be afraid to slow down and don't be afraid to say no, because they'll work you like a horse. Like you're a cash cow. You're like printing money for them. So they're going to push. They don't care that you're tired. They don't care that you're hoarse. They don't care.
Yeah.
They want you to work, get out there and work. And, and we all know, like, she's had some issues because of that. You just get burned out. You overworked. And they don't, Brittany, you go down the list.
And that's exactly what happened to me, I think, in the Philippines, actually. That was it was quite scary, actually, because so when I landed in the Philippines, it was a level of fame that I had no idea.
Right.
Like it was
it's the
like
Beatles.
It
right?
was, And I remember again
at
the airport, it was crazier than Hawaii, and I lost my dad in the crowd.
Oh, that's scary.
And I freaked out.
Yeah.
Like, it was the first time I actually felt like scared and super vulnerable. I was like, oh my God. And people are pushing you, and I'm just like,
you were like Whitney yelling for Farmer and the bodyguard. Farmer.
It was insane. It was mad, and it was just kind of a taste of like what these A-list superstars go through. And I'm like, I don't know if I want this.
Yeah.
You're still young at that time too. Yeah.
Hey, you're still young now.
Yes. Look, I'm gonna tell you straight up.
Young, but no.
Jasmine, I'm gonna be straight up with you. I thought Jasmine was 18 years old. Just now. I'm gonna keep it real with you. So
I'll take that. I'll take that.
You seriously look 20-something all day,
And that's what's dope about it, because that's that Hawaiian Filipino genes right there. But that's
Asian don't raisin.
Yeah. Asian don't raisin.
Dealing with the Philippines, and I think pandemic for all of us can say that it made us stop and put everything in perspective.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're looking at a background that you came from 16 American Idol. We all kind of have said, okay, we were on stage performing for thousands of people. Now it's like, I'm performing for Twitch. I'm performing for a laptop now.
Right.
Now you kind of say, okay, now it's a reset. Just how Vegas shut down, everyone kind of shut down. Now it's a reset. Now what perspective you say, okay, look, I had time to kind of see in hindsight what my career has been, the ups and the highs and the lows, ups and downs. Now, where does it take you as far as pandemics here, Jasmine Trias? Is it the rebirth? Is it the reborn? Because now American Idol is still going on. Like, just for this to come up during I Am Tongi and American Idol's been on now, you always connected to that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So whether you like it or not, you're always connected to that.
Exactly.
But now that you kind of have a little bit more say, you gotta do a little bit more. Take us through that process from the pandemic on.
Yeah, so as I said, the pandemic was a great time for me to really reflect on American Idol and just think about my life from then to now and just reset everything and kind of take stock of, all the highs and lows and then put everything into perspective. And, I think it's become like a rebirth, as you said. And I feel like I'm at a good place now where I feel very confident as a person. I know who I am. And I know who I am as an artist too, now more than ever.
Come on.
And, during that time as well, after the first album, I had so many other labels and other producers wanted to work with me on a second album, but it just didn't feel right. I wasn't ready. I have so many like half-finished demos that I've done it, but I just haven't released it. It just wasn't right. And it wasn't until after the Philippines, Vegas called, and then I started doing residencies here, and then that's when I met my husband. And he's also a singer as well.
Tell us about that whole connection.
So he's a performer and singer in his own right, and we met in Las Vegas. So the first time he actually saw me was on stage. He came to one of my shows.
He was a groupie.
He's a groupie with some game.
Exactly, right? You start singing and stuff.
Yeah. He had some swagger, clearly.
Right?
Yeah, that helped. So he was actually in Vegas for shows as well. So he was his show was the weekend after mine. So he came in a week early because he's from England. And so he came in a week early and he thought to check out my show at the time. So then after my show, he met me afterwards, and then we kind of kept in contact, and then I watched his show.
Come on, there it is. Then you was battling, and then, okay, we're going to battle.
Yeah, exactly. And then, we just kept in contact. It was a long distance for a while. I was still in Hawaii. He was in England. But then, we kept coming back to Vegas together, and then we just ended up staying in Vegas.
That's
and
great.
So, and we, I never thought that I would meet someone in the industry, and I never thought it would work with someone in the industry.
You're so jaded at this point. You've seen everything through the ringers going. You started so young, too, as well, right?
So, exactly. Yeah. So, but he also has a showbiz background, so he totally understood everything that I went through. And so I think we really connected on that, and that was huge for me at the time. Huge for
because he knew what you were kind of dealing with.
Exactly. And, even though my family were such a big support for me, and they saw me go through everything, it was hard for me to kind of really talk to them about certain things because they didn't really understand certain things. So with him, he just understood everything, and he's just become my rock through all of this and got me through all of the craziness that happened, and especially during the pandemic. It was I actually watched my stuff from Idol for the first time.
Yeah, really?
Never.
Wow.
Never.
That's dope.
I don't like to watch myself.
Let me ask you this about along those lines. Two things I love about the show every season is the growth that you guys go through from audition to however far you go, and watching them get better and better every week in, week out, and make the right choices and just get the confidence.
Right.
Do you feel that as it's happening to you?
On the show?
Yeah. Like from audition to the point when you got eliminated, were you like, or even that week, like were you like, wow, like I've come a long way? Like, you feel it?
I think I felt it slowly. We also had like a vocal coach to work with us as well. And so I got to learn a lot from that experience as well, because I was just kind of very raw. I didn't take singing lessons. I just heard,
just got up there and did it.
I just got up there
Hold
and
up.
Wow.
Jasmine, no singing lessons.
Covering Whitney.
Whitney was my singing teacher.
Aretha's the B-side. Wait, who was Whitney was your singing teacher. That's funny.
She was my singing teacher.
Okay, then here's my other question. The other thing I love about the show is I love seeing, even if they don't go far, I love when you clearly see their moment, like the time. Like what I love about any career for anyone, like for me, like I remember like opening for Tom Jones the first time, and I nailed it.
Yeah.
And I felt like I came off and I was like, fucking nailed it.
Right.
Did you have that moment? And what song was it? What was your moment?
I did have that moment, and I vividly remember it. It was the song "Inseparable."
I remember this.
I sang it, was it top 12? Top 12? Top 10? Top 10. Was it top 10? Do you remember?
I don't remember. But I remember the song. I remember you doing it.
Yeah, consultant.
Remember, I'm old now, so my memory. I can only go back to season that was 18.
It was inseparable, and I remember just vividly being on that stage, and I just remember feeling confident, and it was like an out-of-body experience almost.
Yeah.
And I just felt like I was flying.
Right.
And it was beautiful, and I just felt like I sang it perfectly.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're in your head about things and
right.
you're like nitpicking.
You knew.
Everything just aligned and like clicked into place, and it was like, boom, I'm flying.
Drops the mic.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Inseparable.
Yeah.
That got to be a clip.
That was my
moment. Right here, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one where everything clicked in, and that's when I felt like after this moment,
no matter what,
this is
I love that.
I don't
like,
care
they
what
can't
happens
take
after this.
Yeah,
exactly. So I think that's the moment where I felt like I won, and everything else is just a bonus after this.
That's incredible.
Because it's always that moment. Like we look at moments now, like even through this season as well.
Yeah.
When he was singing the James Blunt song and his homecoming.
Yeah.
There's definitely a moment in there. And Lionel so because how do you see judges now? Do they have Lionel, Luke Bryan, and what's Katy Perry?
Katy Perry, yeah.
How do you see them differ between your set of judges? Like, it has to be a big night and day.
I'm going to answer that after she answers.
It's a huge dynamic shift.
Yeah.
I mean, because on my season, you had Simon, who was obviously the critic.
Yep.
And then you had Paula, who was the nice one, and Randy, he was like the
technical,
producer,
right?
Yeah. Technical guy. So it was kind of interesting to see those three perspectives. But on the new season, they're all just very nice.
Yeah.
So you don't really get the contrast.
But her era, the judges told the truth.
Yeah.
Paula, like you said, was nice, but she still would at least give you the nice way of the truth.
Yes, exactly.
And now it's participation trophies.
Yes.
It's just, they're soft. Judges gone soft. Yeah. I think they've gotten better. Like I remember DMing Lionel like the first season that he was on.
Oh yeah.
We know, and I was like, bro, come on. Tell the truth. Stop with the everyone's a star. He still says it, but like, come on, man.
But I think because they're celebrities, they have to protect their brand.
Well,
so
and also,
it's
no social media versus social media too.
That too,
right?
Right, exactly. So like,
I get it.
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
It's tough.
I mean, if I was a judge, I would be nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like the judges on your season did more coaching than they do now. Like they do this season, I think they've been a little better at it. But like the last couple seasons, like, come on, guys, like give them notes, like give them real notes, especially when they get to top 10.
Exactly.
I'm no producer, but I think the next step for American Idol is to have, old finalists come on there and say, now this is what we've been through.
Let's bring them back.
Let's bring them back as a judge, because they're not getting the the sugar coating of these artists now.
Yeah.
Because you guys went through what these kids are going through now.
Is so
I think it'd be dope. Ryan Seeker, you could cut me a check for that too. Because y'all see that, y'all just know that was on me.
Yeah.
But now that we have, like we talk about that now, we talk bringing to you full circle now. You're in Vegas doing shows. Like, what's next for Jasmine?
Yeah.
Well, there's, as I said, during the pandemic, there was a lot of thinking done and a lot of ideas. And so my husband and I are working on a lot of projects in the studio where we have a lot of content gathered for a YouTube channel that we're launching.
Yes.
And we're also working on some new music together as well.
Yes.
And we're still performing, doing shows here in Vegas, and we're traveling a lot as well. So busy with all of that. And so, I just feel like now I feel more confident as an artist, and I'm not done yet. I think there's still a few chapters, and I feel like I'm still getting started.
Yeah.
Even though I've gone through a lot, but I still feel like I'm just getting started.
And I think that's the reason I kind of wanted you to come on the show. We talked at the Holo Festival, because I don't think you had your chance to do what you wanted to do.
Right.
And I think we talked about this briefly, and just kind of seeing what Camille's doing as Ellie Mack and what everyone's doing now in this island reggae, where it wasn't like that back in the day. They didn't really have this huge, Holo Festival. We're talking about downtown Las Vegas. We're talking about these island reggae, touring the world, where I think this is kind of your moment to kind of say, hey guys, don't forget about me. I did all the American Idol stuff. And now that you're with your husband now you can kind of get a grasp of both of you guys being in the business.
Right.
Both of you guys dealing with Las Vegas, where now it's like you see the Common Kings, you see the J Boogs and the Fijis. Now I would be, and I think our viewers as well, would like to see Jasmine work with Fiji, work with Boog, and work with some of people like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I would absolutely love that. And I'm glad you picked up on that. That I feel like this is like I'm in the driver's seat now, and I have control, and I think that's the beauty of the showbiz industry that we're in now versus when I was on the show.
Yeah.
The landscape has completely changed. Back in the day, as an artist, the path was you get signed by a record label and that was it, or American Idol and record label and that was it. But now, with social media, everyone is in control of their own destiny. And
now you're the label.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're the producer.
You don't need the middleman anymore.
You're the marketing strategist. So
you are everything all in one, and it's a lot of work, but that's the beauty of it. You are in control, and so I'm really excited with that prospect, and had a lot to think about, and just during the pandemic, so many creative juices were flowing. When I realized all of that, had to reflect on my time on Idol, and then now have a new, fresh perspective on life now and where I'm gonna go now. So
how about a skincare cosmetics line called Jasmine, because you look 20 something.
The youth over here.
You're like the
you gotta be the husband. You gotta be the husband. Young. Because I'm saying the founder youth, I'm like, I don't know what lotion or moisturizer you
haven't been to bed past 8 p.m. in your life is what it looks like. Like, what is going on? You sleep 17 hours a day on average.
You came a long way from the Ala Moana Sephora counter. I'll tell you that goddamn much.
That's so funny. I've been doing a few interviews and people have been telling me this, and I'm like,
they're not
I never
lying.
actually really thought about it.
Girl, be lucky they're telling you that and not telling you something else.
That's true. That's true.
They're like, oh, like 20 years? I thought it was 50 years ago. Yeah.
At this rate, you'll be getting carded when you're 66.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? I'm gonna have to look into that because I've been getting a lot of comments on that. So I'll have to. I don't know, eye cream. I just use eye cream like everybody else.
No, don't tell you a secret. They got to pay for that. They got to pay for that. We got to market that. We definitely got to get for that. But you know, and that's something that I was telling John. Like, I really wanted to get you in here just because I felt when I met you at the Clippers game and I met you at Hello, like you didn't really get your fair shot. You know what I mean?
Oh, thank you.
And I see it with the kid. I am talking like, I know he's going to go through all these different things too. And I feel, I mean, just my opinion, he's not going to get his fair shot until he kind of like sits down and like, I'm kind of doing everything I don't wanted me to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's tough in this Hawaiian culture, in this Filipino, and this Polynesian culture that he's going through now. It's tough.
Yeah.
There's always the pros and cons of it, but I think now with we talked about with social media, with podcasts like this, and platforms that we have now, you can kind of do what you want to do.
Exactly.
You and the hubby got your things going on, and we want everybody out there to say, hey, support anything. That's what I'm big on. I'm a stickler on saying, look, anyone that supports me, support you, because your people that follow you don't follow me, and vice versa.
Right.
Especially John Orlando.
Yeah.
We got him as that. That's what got him in here.
I have no followers, so see my flaw in your plan. I don't have anybody.
But I said it was good to kind of bring these different perspectives, and it's something that I try to like stick to my guns on this podcast because we want to know what you went through, what they seen. But it kind of takes me back to this tequila. No shameless plug. Whereas Dos Caras is two faces.
Oh, right.
You had one face that was American Idol.
Yeah.
And this face that people don't know is what you just presented to us on the Western Conference podcast.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you coming over here.
And long form is the way for you to go. What are you doing? I feel like you need a podcast.
Oh, thank you.
No, it's definitely dope, and I appreciate you for your time. But for that person that may go stay in line for 24 hours, for that artist that is out there watching this podcast, what advice do you have for them?
To never give up.
Yeah.
To never give up. I thought, during the pandemic, I was like, it's done. We're done. I was at a pretty low place at that point. And I was just ready to throw in the towel. But, you know, after long conversations and a lot of reflection, you know, don't ever give up. Stick with your passion.
Yeah.
Singing and music has always been my passion, and I'm not going to let anyone take that away from me. And you cannot let go of that.
Yeah.
So, and you know what? It's never too late.
Yeah. No.
It's never too late.
And don't believe people that say no or you can't, or don't believe those people.
Exactly. And, you know, I had a lot of those people early on, you know, tell me that, you know, I don't think you're going to make it because of X, Y, and Z, you know, and I think a lot of, at that time, there was race in the issue too.
Yeah, come on.
You know,
speak on it. Yes, don't beat around the bush. Yes, there was.
There was. And,
there was. You know, absolutely.
And it, you know, it was a lot for me to hear at that time. I didn't really know how to process that and really maybe verbalize it at that time. But it, you know, again, everything, like it was like the purge for me during the pandemic, because I never really addressed it. I never really delved in like deep into that and actually like sorted it all out. And I think I finally did, and I have a better handle of it now. And just to see Ian on American Idol now, and he's gonna win it. It just shows.
We talked about, me and John talked about it. He may or may not win it, but like I said, he's already won.
Right.
I hope he wins it. I know it's hard to beat the country vote. You know?
But I think he's gonna win it.
The stars are aligning for him. Once Wiani went away. I mean, arguably the best singer in the whole competition got booted.
The one with the Michelle A voice, right?
Yes.
The squeaky voice.
Okay. Voice. Is that her name, right? Wiani?
She's dope, and then she starts singing. I was like,
good.
Then she starts talking. I was like,
what's going on?
Keep singing.
Do you watch every year, or just did you pick it up just because?
Just a little bit, just like on clips and stuff like that. I kind of keep an eye out just to watch out for any Asians or for Hawaiians.
That's what I do. I only see if there's any polys on there.
Yeah, if there's no one like that.
Because you have to look at it like this, John. It has to be, look, season 3, you're like, oh God, turn it off, babe. You know what I mean? At that point. But then when you do have someone that's representation, like kind of went through the same path you went through, it kind of just kind of brings everything up.
That's true too. And even just the music, if it's on, it like triggers. It's like triggering. Like, okay. You know what I mean? So it's I'll only watch it if there's someone worthwhile watching on there that is like either representing the Asian community or like the Hawaiian community.
That's the only reason I'm watching it this season. Because I was like, oh, they got a poly kid on there. I'm going to check it out.
Right.
And that's why when I looked at John's stories, I was like, okay, I'm more intrigued now. To see his commentary opposed to Lionel, when everyone's a good singer in Lionel's eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like, it brings us back to where it's like Jasmine Trias is going to be here forever, because you're always going to have this thing, but you kind of accepted it and kind of said, okay, I did the American Idol thing, but that's why I wanted to bring you here to say, look, this is what I'm doing now. Don't just always put me behind the 8 ball of American Idol. There's more to you than that. And that's why I wanted to bring you on.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you for having me, and, you know, for me to kind of tell my story, because I've never actually really
It's a story that needs to be told. Because I think it's therapeutic, especially for what you just told us.
It really is.
I'm like, thank God you told this story, because it was just kind of like bottled up in there. Where once you do tell it, and that's why podcast I think is dope for that. Is that once you hear it and you guys watch it, you and the hubby say, oh, let's check out the interview, because you know, you don't watch what you have on American Idol, but when you watch stuff like that, like, man,
it doesn't get edited. It doesn't. Nothing's out of context. It's however you said it is how it goes up. It's the best. It's the best.
And that's dope. But I want everybody that's watching now to go follow Miss Jasmine Trias on all social media, because I'm telling y'all, social media is what we're doing now. And go follow and tell them how to get there again. They're gonna have it on the screen, by the way.
Yes. Everyone can follow me on my socials at Jasmine Trias.
Yes. Come on, go get it right. Not now,
Twitter.
but right. What shows we got coming up? Because I know we in the studio right now.
Yes. So the next show I have coming up is actually in San Antonio, Texas, and it's a Filipino Pacific Islander festival that I'm doing. And we have other festivals in the works right now too, but everyone can go on my socials and find out where I'll be.
See, and then I might just almost hit you, and I do a lot of festivals as well, just bring Jasmine with me. Be like, you know, Jasmine, go on, do your thing as well. But John, I want to thank you again, brother. Tell them where they can find you on your podcast.
Just at John Orlando on social, and then the podcast is Action Junkies, JUNKEEZ, because I couldn't afford actionjunkies.com spelled properly. So
that's what I'm talking about. Shout out my brother John, Jasmine, Ian Tongi. We hope you win this thing. If you don't, man, you still a winner in our eyes. Everybody that's got this music for the love and the love of music, keep doing your thing, man. Western Conference out. Peace.